Good morning, family. Welcome back to the channel. I got to thinking last night, or a little bit over the last few days, mostly last night, why don't we just spray the bay? It'd be sick. Yesterday's video hasn't gone live as the time of this recording, but I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be a lot of people that want to see this bay painted. Now, here is the situation. Here's the scoop. Oh, and also, I have anxiety about yesterday's video. Curious to see if it's gonna hit that 7,000 like mark or not. Guess we'll see. But situation with spraying the bay. We need to do a color. If we do this, which we probably will because it's in my brain now, and when something's in my brain, I have to get it out, so I have to do it. So we need to do a color or shade that is gonna look good both with the blue wrap that's on here, and if we ever decide to unwrap the car, it needs to be done well enough, I guess you could say, or like the proper color to match the factory electric blue as well. Thankfully, they're both blue. So we really only have one option, and that option is black. If we did like yellow, obviously that wouldn't look good. At least in my opinion, way too far out there. Nah, I'm good. Red, nah. Anything that would conflict with blue, it's out. We really have like gray and black. I think black would look better. We could do white, but I don't think a white bay would look good. So I guess we're gonna be spraying the bay on this thing gloss black. And I ain't gonna do no rattle can job. I want it to be like proper, perfect, mint, as good as possible. So I'm gonna take my time. This is gonna add a few days, but I don't really care because we are so far deep in this car right now that I wanna do everything in my power to make it as nice as possible. That's my goal, to make this thing beautiful. And I'm trying as hard as I can. So with that being said, there's a few things that we need to do. Fenders are gonna come off. When we go to spray everything, I'm not gonna spray anything on the fender. There's a seam right here, or like this hood jam, I guess you'd call it. This is gonna be wrapped that same color. So if we ever decide to unwrap the car, then everything would look proper. You know what I'm saying? I wanna spray the bay with the fact that in the back of my mind, this car may one day go back to the electric blue. That's the whole goal here. It's gotta look good with this wrap and with this color. So fenders are gonna come off. We need to pull the rest of the wiring. We're gonna need to pull, what, the shifter cables maybe? I don't know, we're like 90% there already, so I figured, we're not that far away. And the fact that we already have to deal with all this BS right here, we might as well just do it right. And I've never had a different colored bay before. Imagine a gloss black bay on this thing with a little bit of yellow popping through here, brand new engine, transfer. Every aspect of this bay is going to be touched. The exterior of this car, in my opinion, is already beautiful. There's a few little things left we need to do. Interior is coming along. The bay is just whack though. And this thing, I want the bay on this car to be nicer than anything else. So I guess with that being said, we need to pull off the fenders. To get the fenders off, we need to get the side skirts off. Hopefully we can get the side skirts off while the car is on the lift. We need to pull out the wiper motors and arms and all that. Harness, I might look into it a little bit more. It'd be so handy to get the entire harness out. So I'm gonna do a little bit more digging. I don't know how much of the dash we'd have to pull out because I know that goes to the ECU. This one runs over, kind of runs up under the fender, goes into the interior on that side and kind of connects to the fuse box over there. We got that guy we can pull out, that's a few minutes. That boot right there for the steering column, we can pull that out, it's a couple minutes. And all this wiring right here, 5 minutes, that'll all be off, and this will be a completely empty engine bay. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is this a good idea? Drop a comment below. I feel like it's a good idea, and I'm really excited to do this. Once again, something that we've never done before. I want to just keep pushing my skills. Get better and better and better. We've gotten a lot better at painting, but I feel like this is really gonna push it to the next level because it's like a big area, a lot of cracks and crevices and tight areas to get into, so it's gonna be fun. Skirts are off, fenders are off, wiper motor and arms are out. Pretty much all we have left is some wiring. So this harness right here runs all the way from that side. That should all be fairly easy to disconnect. And if we could get it disconnected from at least one end, either there, or as you can see, it runs all the way through here, up under there, and it goes into the cabin right here. So if we could get at least one end disconnected, that'd be a huge help. I'm trying to figure out where I want to stop painting at. I kind of want to do all this. I know it's gonna be a lot of extra work. So I'll probably stop, honestly, somewhere right in here. I'm not too concerned with like painting all that black, or necessarily even in here black, but I'll probably do it anyway, just because. Let's say the windshield down, forward, that's all gonna go gloss black. Should look pretty freaking nice. All right, let's dig into this harness. We still have that. We still have that. Shifter cables. If they're easy to get to, I'll pop those out as well. Okay, here is what we ended up with. Wiring harness is completely disconnected from that side of the car. That was fairly easy to do. There was a few wires that were kind of hard to get to. I really wanted to take the entire harness out and make life a little bit easier, but when I'm tracing it through that hole right there, it's such a pain. We pretty much would have to pull the dash back out to get that, and the shifter cable's a little bit of a pain as well. So I decided that if we're gonna do that, we might as well just part out the car. It's pretty much what it comes down to, because the entire thing would be just torn in pieces. So I'm gonna leave the harness in like that. We can easily paint around that. That's not a big deal at all. If it was easy to pull the harness, of course we would, but it's not. I know that looks like a lot of wires. And it is a lot of wires, but I think we can easily get it back together. I don't know why it would be a big deal. After you pull it apart, you kind of understand how everything runs. Time to get to work. This is gonna be a lot of prep work. So much scuffing, sanding, bending core supports right here a little bit, cleaning all this up. It's gonna be hours upon hours upon hours of work, but the end result is gonna be insane. All right, so we need to run through and get the entire engine bay, every single thing that we're painting, looking like, pretty much like that, a dull look. We're gonna need to do some repairs up in here. Any sort of rust we need to grind down. You may be thinking it's gonna take forever to go from like a shiny blue to a dull looking blue. And you're right, it is gonna take forever, but all the stuff over here is definitely gonna be helping out. So we have, let's see, we got some red Scotch-Brite. We have a ton of supplies from Prime MX, which is actually Cameron's company, my brother Cameron's company. A variety of the red Scotch-Brite cleaning wheels. And then in this back here, there's some really thin wheels as well. All that stuff will help to get in all the tight areas, and a die grinder. Ideally, if we can get this thing prepped out today, that'd be insane. That'd be huge relief, because obviously the prep work is gonna be the most time consuming and the most important part of all of this. Painting it is very important, but it's not gonna take nearly as much time as all the prep work. So let's just, let's get started. I think I'm gonna start with the core support because it's probably gonna be the easiest and in the least amount of work. But yeah, let's see what we can do. We are gonna have one dusty, messy shop after this project. Oh man, we've made a ton of progress thanks to those prime cleaning wheels. Doing all this by hand would have been a nightmare, but we're probably a third of the way done. The hard part was this whole front section. There was so much like plastic up top, and then the whole bottom section had like some undercoating that was really hard to get off. But we got all that off, pretty much down to almost nearly bare metal down here. And then we got a lot of this section done as well. So we really still have the frame rails. I guess we have a lot left. We got the frame rails, that whole section up in there where the micro motor sits. And then we are doing this whole wheel well as well. And that also has a ton of black, kind of like the same undercoating type of thing as well. So we got to get that off. But yeah, making some really good progress and I am stoked. We're getting closer and closer. I do want to take a little break from sanding and whatnot and try and straighten out this core support. So this should be fairly easy. This whole section just needs to be flattened out and the back side of it kind of needs to be flattened out. It's a little bit wavy. Other than that, it's all good to go. Everything lined up perfectly. Headlight gaps were good. Fender gaps were perfect. So I just need to straighten out those pieces and we should be all right. Just a little bit of bending and tweaking around and we got it fairly straight. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not 100%, but it's about as close as I can get it. So I'm happy. Let's keep moving forward with prepping out this bay. We got quite a bit of the firewall done. That whole side's pretty much finished up. So let's finish off the firewall and then this frame rail needs to be completed along with this tub right here. This whole underside of the frame rail though, she is covered in grease and oil. So it's pretty disgusting. I might save that for later because I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. Let's actually I've been curious to see how easy this stuff is gonna come off. All of this, let's prep out this wheel well and see what happens. All that black stuff was actually just grease, which must have been on there for years and years because it took forever to get that stuff cleaned off. Now that we have a giant mess on the floor again, I'm gonna go ahead and do this side as well. Get all of this nasty, it's almost like CV axle grease is kind of what I'm guessing. Get all that gunk off of here and then we can do another pressure wash job and get back to sanding. Oh my gosh, that was one of the more messy jobs I've had to deal with in a while, but thankfully we got pretty much all that grease off there. I had to use gasoline and brake cleaner and wire brushes. Trying to use the prime wheels, it was kind of just like smearing it around and just making a giant mess, fleeing it everywhere. Not cool. There's still a little bit up in here, but compared to what it was, we got the majority of it out. When I first got to the shop this morning, I thought we would for sure have this bay in at least primer. By the end of the night, there is absolutely no way that is gonna happen. This takes way longer than I expected. We're maybe halfway done, and that's pushing it. And the night's almost over. So I'm gonna keep pushing, grab that monster we picked up this morning, keep trucking. I did decide just to pull the whole entire harness. I'm gonna keep getting this thing wet. I don't like it. I'd rather just pull it out of the car and kind of run through, clean it up as best I can, instead of just like soaking it with the pressure washer. So we do need to get the harness out. We do need to get the shifter cables out because the dash may have to come out. Oh my gosh, guys. I feel like this car's never gonna go back together. Look at this thing. So much freaking work. The whole bay is out. The interior is gonna be gutted. Look at all these wires. Complete harness is disassembled. We have a fuse box. I know there's gonna be some comments saying, why don't you do a wire tuck? I don't even know where to start with that, to be honest. It would be sick, but we already have dealt with so much new and foreign things to me. Transmission, transfer case, power steering pump, the entire engine bay is gutted. I've never done any of this before. And if we do a wire tuck, there's already a high probability of stuff not going right. It's just the fact, because I've touched so many things that I've never touched before. If we start trying to do a wire tuck, moving like the fuse box behind the dash and all that, there's no way. That's just, yeah. If we're gonna do it, I'd rather deal with that later. Get the car up and running how it is. And then down the road, if we want to do a wire tuck, we can do it then. But for now, nah, not happening, boys. I need to check on yesterday's video. Where's my phone? See if we got to do this bottom end build now. If we have to do the bottom end build now, it's going to add at least a week. The video has been up for 6 hours. We have to get 7,000 likes. Are we at 4K, 5K? What are we at? Sick internet. The video is already at 4,800 likes. It's probably gonna hit 7K, so I might as well just go ahead and order the pistons, rods, studs, all that good stuff. Y'all are wild. So we have both fender wells, probably 95%. The core support is 100%. Firewall is probably 50%. This whole section over here is all finished up. So we're getting there, we're making progress, but we did just run into a fairly large problem that we cannot move forward till we get it fixed. Air compressor was running fine, and then she decided to start leaking super bad. So I pulled it, and it's coming from right here. So I pulled that nut off, and we got a fatty crack right on this pipe that runs from the motor down to the tank. So we cannot move forward till we get a new pipe made or buy a new pipe or something. That looks like a fairly complicated pipe to make, but I'm gonna pull it off all the way and we can run around tomorrow and see if we can't find something. Oh geez, that thing is hammered. I don't know if that's from heat or from vibration, probably a combination of both. We have been running that thing hard all freaking day. And yeah, she just would not hold air whatsoever. So we can't move forward until we get this gosh dang thing fixed or replaced. And I really don't want to order one in. So let's see what we can do. I might pick this video back up tomorrow, or I might just upload what we've done so far. So I guess if you guys see me tomorrow, you'll see me tomorrow. If not, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Oh man, this is so much work, but it's gonna be so worth it in the end. I'm excited. Peace out.